is literally the embodiment of when you know better, you do better, because we get so upset with God, never taking accountability for the fact that we made the decision ourselves, knowing that when we did it the first time, we already came to a revelation like this ain't, that didn't feel good. That didn't work.
So I found myself back in that situation, y'all, and the same thing happened again. The same thing happened again. But when it happened this time, I was stronger. I was, even when I like it all came crashing down, like I should have known it would have. Yeah. I wasn't like distraught behind it. I wasn't. It was, but it was also kind of just like I knew. I should have knew better. All right. Hey y'all. All right, let me do my little song so we can get into the video. Yeah. And we back. 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 We are back with another episode of the You're Done podcast. Yay. It's your girl, Big Desto, not the little one.
And be more, never less. What's up?
Yeah, we back. And this episode is one that should have been recorded last week, but I forgot. I didn't look at the schedule. And I was going to leave the house. Brittany talking about, we recording? No, because I'm leaving the house. I forgot.
But back up. Because I asked her and she said, hey, me and Corey got Labor Day plans, so we need to do it early. And I thought she was going to say something crazy, y'all, because we in 2 different time zones. And she was like, nah, like 8 o'clock should be fine. So that's the time that I put it. I'm worried. I'm like, I'm not going to be late because I was late the last time. So I'm set up, light on, full setup, y'all. And she didn't even text me back. I had to call Corey. And she was like, oh, we not doing it. What?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that the Labor Day plans meant that we had to leave the house by 10 something. I thought that we would be afternoon Labor Day plans. But hey.
But see, we're going straight into the topic. When you know better, you do better, because now we look at the schedule.
I do. Every Sunday I look at the schedule because I felt bad. I was like,
nah, I actually didn't even feel like doing it, so I was kind of relieved, but then I also was like, dang, that's another week.
I know. But we might have an extra day somewhere where we can make up for it sooner. I'll just have to let you know. But we'll talk about that off camera. But let's get into the topic. Like Brittany said, when you know better, you do better. So we had a conversation. Well, Brittany sent me this very, very, very long, lengthy voice memo one day. And she was just dropping off all her ideas, which were great ideas. So now when I think of the topics that we're going to do, we try to be more intentional and let it be something that we can also learn from. I feel like like you said, we started with like, oh, we're going to say what we're done with. It almost kind of came off as like advice, I guess. But now it's kind of like, what is something that we probably struggling with that we can, ask y'all for help on? And maybe this will also get y'all to comment more. No. But before I get on y'all for not commenting, I will say that we had a goal by the end of this year. It's only September. We had a goal by the end of this year that we wanted to get 100 subscribers. And as of today, September 7th, we have 95 subscribers. Look at that. Shout out to y'all. Keep liking, keep subscribing. Please. Share, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Because you're not done.
So yes, we are we're not done. And bear with us with this, what's it called, Brittany? Virtual podcast. We're still learning with that too, but we doing our best.
But it's going well. It's going good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying, I feel like for me personally, and I'm going to get into the topic after this, but I feel like me personally, like the last few episodes, I've been coming on here barely dressed. Look, today, Even Corey was like, "Hey, where you get that from?"
You got a man.
Right, I did my hair today. Look, but I feel like I've just been coming. You know how you go to work and you be like, they better be lucky I showed up. That's how I've been. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's how I've been feeling. But today I put my best foot forward, and that leads us into our topic for today. When you know better, you do better. I got my notes because I knew once I sat down, and that was another thing in Brittany lengthy voice memo. Is like sometimes when we sit down, it's like we don't really know where we're going with the conversation. So I try to put like notes, and she was like, we can ask questions and all the. Brittany said a lot. Look, I don't remember.
I be thoughts, y'all, and I gotta get them out. And sometimes, and I will say in the voice message too, it's a lot. If you didn't catch some, let me know. Cause I just be whatever's in my head, I just say it. So, but she does such a great job. You see that? She got her notes. It's gonna go smooth. Yeah, we ready.
So let me read y'all what I wrote in the notes. So it says, when you know better, you do better. We've all heard that saying, right? Yes. And another thing I feel like Brittany said in her lengthy message was that, especially when we're relaying it back to like the Bible and stuff like that, it helps us to like dive into the Bible more because we don't want to come on here and talk about stuff we have no idea about, you know? Yeah. So getting our facts straight before we come on here yapping. So it's when you know better, you do better. There's nothing new under the sun. I know my parents have said that to me multiple times. We been there, we did that, da, 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 da. You know, that is just whatever. Then I got to thinking, there's nothing new under the sun. Brittany, when you read the Bible, the things that they went through in the Bible, it's like similar things that we go through today. And I wish I would have wrote down like the verse that made me look. I just got too excited and then forgot to put the verse. I put the verse on the other topics, but this one I feel like I can. I think I can refer it back to when I was I was reading Hosea, and it was. I hope I'm saying that right, but when it's like Israel is being rebellious against God, right? So they're doing all these bad things, right? And it's like knowing when you do wrong against God, what do you expect to come out of that, you know? And God is like, okay, I'm gonna allow you to do these bad things, right? But then it gets to a point, like I've said before, where you're just like, okay, all the bad things I've been doing has not gotten me anywhere. And when you have no choice but to go back to God, right? Yeah. So that brings us to this: when you know better, you do better. So it says many times we make mistakes and act shocked by the results of our actions, whether they be good or bad. Even if it's good, I always want to put that part in because I'm not saying we out here just all bad. But even when you do good, sometimes you be shocked when great things happen. You be like, but well, I ain't see that coming. I was just doing what I told to do or whatever the case may be. But you reap good benefits sometimes. But what about those times when you did something wrong and you knew you weren't supposed to be doing that?
That be the part. You knew anyways. That when they asked you, hey, do you want to go? And that voice said, stay home. And you said, no, I deserve to have a good time. Yeah, ain't nobody saying you can't let go, but you didn't need to let go with them. Right. Now look at you.
Or at that place. The road. Exactly. Looking goofy. How about God, why me? And God, like, I tried to save you, but you didn't want to listen.
Nah, this is the situation that you're in.
Exactly. So now what?
Yeah. But I also hate when the things happen and then we immediately blame God. That annoys me. And I feel like I've said it already on a previous, I think it was in another season, but it's just like everything isn't God setting you up for failure. You know what I mean? Right. Like sometimes you have to also remember that he gave you free will. You decided that you was going to go out or you were going to go do something you had no business doing, hanging out with people have no best interest for you. So at some point you have to take accountability for the things that you have decided to continue to do as well, and not say, well, apparently God trying to still teach me a lesson. No, you just keep doing the same things.
Right.
like we said, it's going to give you the same results. So don't get upset with that or get mad at him. And also, the devil is not that freaking clever. He's just going to use the same things that got you the first time. Why? Well, listen, if the Kool-Aid tasted great before, why are we trying to use organic sugar? The little great value sugar, it worked just fine.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Leave it like it was. So I think sometimes I think that is literally the embodiment of when you know better, you do better, because we get so upset with God, never taking accountability for the fact that we made the decision ourselves, knowing that when we did it the first time, we already came to a revelation like that didn't feel good. That didn't work. So why go do it again and then say, you know what? I really think this is the time. It's going to go better. It's not.
Well, what about... Okay, so I put my business on Front Street, because that's another thing I'm trying to get better at with the podcast, is being okay with telling y'all a little bit. And this is probably something I've also touched on before, but I feel like, what if you, like you saying, oh, I did it before, but I'm going to do it again. And what if you're like, but I'm going to change this one little thing, hoping that, okay. And this is what I'm saying. She over there rolling her eyes, y'all, but that was me. So I found myself in a situation like that once. And the crazy thing is, so I found myself in that situation, and it was one of those situations where I felt like God had already taken me out of it. So when I found myself trying to get back in it, it was like, but why? Like, why would the opportunity present itself to me again if I thought I passed that test, God? Like, why are these people coming back around? Why would you tempt me like that if I was that person of like not blaming God but asking all these questions like why? And so I asked Daddy, and I was like, you think God gonna be mad at me if I go back towards something that I truly feel like 100% that he's the reason I'm not in that situation anymore, right? So if I go back to it, even if I'm different in the situation, even if I feel like I can handle it better or differently, regardless, if I go back, will God be mad at me? And I guess Daddy being a parent, he was just saying like he answered my question, like, if you feel that way, then X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, it's just like, I also feel like we had this thing of God wouldn't continuously put me through something over and over. If I don't know. So it was like he didn't give me like a straightforward answer. And it was also one of those things where it's like, you have to let your child experience things for themselves and learn from their own action. So I found myself back in that situation, y'all, and the same thing happened again. The same thing happened again. But when it happened this time, I was stronger. I was, even when it all came crashing down, like I should have known it would have. Yeah. I wasn't like distraught behind it. But it was also kind of just like I knew I should have knew better. And the thing is, I did. And I still chose to do the wrong thing. So I feel like sometimes it's hard to have that. Like it's like almost that you have the discernment, but you don't have the discipline to follow what that discernment is telling you to do. Yeah. So I knew better. No. But I was just hoping that it would work out better this time.
And this is why y'all heard me say a few times on this podcast when my sister said, I just can't drop people like you. Because I'd be like, once you show me, you're not. Right. But I have gotten better at that, because you shouldn't just be cutting everybody off. Because I was listening to this one podcast, and it was like, sometimes we do get our hearts broken by people that we want to be able to help. And sometimes it's okay, because we know we are the stronger person, and maybe whatever it is in that season that I was able to provide for you can hopefully help you. It doesn't mean that I need to stay. It just means that maybe I did make a decision to say I was going to help, or feel like I'm in a better space. You're in a better space. We're going to come to do something different, and then it doesn't help. But it doesn't mean that the time that I spent in trying to do better with whomever or whatever the situation was, whether it's just like a job, or it could be anything. It doesn't have to be relationship based.
Yeah.
For you to want to see a better outcome, because I think we all want to have faith and hope in people. But it's sad because the more you see on social media, the more you like, I'm not raising my window down because y'all out here trying to kill people at the gas station. I'm just trying to get some gas. Why I got napkins on my door handle? Like, this is crazy work. So I think sometimes I don't want this episode to be that you can't, because some people, they do. You learn from your mistakes and you come back to do better. But I feel like the biggest thing in what Destiny was just saying is that if you realize that the person is still coming with the same mouthpiece, the situation, the friend, whoever is coming to you with the same game, and it seems so familiar to you, this is probably the sign. At that time, I feel like that's God giving you the ability to recognize the sign that this is not for you, and it's okay for you to say no. I'm not gonna say I've been perfect, but I mean, when it comes to relationships, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I will cut you off. Cool. Okay.
That's what we different.
In my mind, I'd be like, God made a lot of men out here. You didn't want to act right. There's somebody else. You ain't that cute.
You actually kind of ugly.
I seen you cry. Wasn't giving manly.
Right.
Let me not say that. Because men can cry. But, in all jokes and fun. But I think we have to be able to just sit and recognize the signs sometimes. And it's not saying you have to be mean and ugly. Putting myself on Front Street real quick. I had a friend. A situation was going on with her, and I did not like the situation for her, at all. 0% hated the situation. And so I'm in college, y'all, and they came to stay with me, which is fine because I'm like, well, where are you about to go? And then we were just closer at the time. So they came to stay. They end up leaving. The guy she was messing with comes over. And I was like, I know he not at. And now I live in an apartment complex, but now I own the parking lot. I know he not in my parking lot.
Right. Next to my parking spot.
Have the balls to drive into my parking lot on my side of building 14. What are you doing? So either way, long story short, some other things went on. She went home and then was asking to come back. And I went off, y'all. Not in a friend way. I was like, you need to get your stuff together. What is this? I can't, and then I didn't have to do that, right? To me, I felt like she was making a decision that I've watched her make before with this particular person. And I just kind of felt like, again, I cut people off. That doesn't mean everyone does. Not saying like I got a bad heart or she has a better one, but I just felt like you're not setting yourself up for better, and you deserve better. And I think I become harsh to my friends sometimes when I know that they deserve better or could do better, or have so much potential, and then this is what we doing. These are the conversations we having. Right. That annoys me. And instead of coming from a place of help, a place of peace for them, a place where they can vent and I can give solid advice or say, hey, just coming in prayer. Sometimes just being silent, I would be, because what you should have did, what you did. Right. She didn't need all that. So, in the end, I did apologize, but it was years later, y'all, for I didn't have to come at you like that. But I feel like when you're doing the same thing, you can't expect a different outcome, nor can you run to someone else and say, hey, I'm going to need you to fix all of this. And I don't think that's what she was looking for, but that's how I took it, Mm-hmm. And so I personally now, when people come to talk to me, like I said, when you know better, you do better. Now I will ask you, are you venting or are you asking me for my advice? And when you say no, go ahead and say what you got to say. I say, this is how Brittany would handle the situation. Based on what you're saying, this is what I think is going on. Based on what you're saying, this is what I would do moving forward. So if I offend you, this is you telling me you want my advice, and this is what I think. I preference that because I don't need you being like, well, she thinks she better than me.
You
That's
said
me what I
that.
thought. That's what I thought. and that's what you
Right.
got. Okay. So you take it or leave it. But I think it is hard. I think your situation is hard because I think you assume that this person was going to come to the table
With more.
with something different. Yeah. And
Yeah,
they didn't.
exactly. But I feel like what
And
you're
I
saying,
don't know.
I feel like what you're saying, you like still a good friend. But like you say, it's not what you say. A lot of the times, it's how you say it. So you learn from that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times I find I have in the past found myself. Well, I'm not saying in the past because sometimes I fall short here and there. But obviously not over the same things that I would fall short about before. I feel like I have greater discernment to be like, oh yeah, that was the Holy Spirit telling me not to do that. Or even with I don't want to get too deep on this part what I'm about to say because my notes is another topic I came up with. But it's also I have better people around me. So I don't feel the need to be like, "Oh, I can't go over there because I may be tempted to do X, Y, and Z." Even if I am around certain people that are doing things that I don't want to do, I'm in a much higher space where it's like they know, and they're not trying to tempt me to do something they know I already don't want to do. So
Yeah.
I've had that growth and discernment to be like, I know where I should be or where I shouldn't be, but it's not to say I don't still fall short, but I feel like I have a better what's the word? I have a better knowledge and wisdom when it's like, oh yeah, that's the Holy Spirit saying that's not a good idea. Don't do that
Okay.
one. That ain't gonna work out for you.
I got a
But
question for you then.
okay.
So, do you think it's more so of you being obedient to what that voice is in your head, or is it you just saying, I don't know, because you're ignoring the voice. So, do you think most of this, when you say when I know better, I'm gonna do better, or when a situation is reoccurring, is the solid answer to all of this, right? Is just the fact of you being obedient to the voice that went off in your head telling you yes to go forward or no to go back.
I feel like I feel like a lot of it falls back on the relationship I built with God. So when that voice in my head is speaking to me, it's like I have no problem doing what it says. If that makes sense,
Okay.
I feel like is that answering the question? I feel
Yeah,
like
in some. Well, I want to see what else you're gonna say because I think in some ways it's you're being obedient. You hear it and you say okay, but then you still, like you were saying before, when you're like, even though I felt like it, I thought it would be different. So then I still went the other way. So that's why I was like, do you think the solid answer is just when you get that initial thought, and the fact that you had to go ask daddy, when you get that initial thought, is it just I should just be obedient with what was put in me at that moment? Is that do you think that would be the answer, or is it, oh, I should talk to them and kind of get more information first
I
and
feel
then
like I feel like me going to talk to daddy about it is because I confide in somebody who also has a relationship with God who can give me sound advice on how to move within the situation. I'm
got
not gonna go ask the person that I'm in the situation with what you think because they gonna be like, I think we should go for it. What are you talking about? So it's I like I said, that's why I said having the right people around me. So even when I'm not too sure and it's like I hear this voice, but I don't know exactly how to act on it,
mm-hmm.
I have a good person that I can go and get sound biblical advice from. And it's not to say like daddy just got all the answers. But
Yeah, yeah.
at the same time, I do believe that he's somebody that wouldn't lead me astray. You know, he wants the best for me, you know. But even if I find myself in a situation now and it's like let me think of something more like present. Let's say it's like work related, and I feel like whatever is going on at work is just not working the way that I'm trying to have it to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go. Okay, whatever. You're doing something and you're feeling like it's not working out like you planned, right? And I'm trying my best not to step on nobody's toes. I'm new here. I'm just trying to have a nice work environment, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I will go to Corey and be like, what you think I should do? But and it's not to say like I like at the same time I hear something telling me, okay, don't say like I know myself enough also. I'm not gonna say nothing right now because if I say it right now, it's gonna come off wrong.
Yeah,
You know better, you do better, because baby I used to just say it.
for sure.
So right. So now it's just understanding that it's a time and a place for everything.
Mm.
It's not, it's like I have to think about how is this person gonna receive what I'm trying to say. And
Mhm.
like Brittany, with you and your friend, like it's not what you said, it was all about how you said it. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to be more mindful of these things. And I feel like sometimes I hear the Holy Spirit like saying, not right now,
Yeah.
girl. Right now I ain't gonna go. You think you in a pickle now. So it's just having that understanding of, even if I hear the voice and I don't necessarily know how to really go about it right then and there, it's just like I think the main thing you should do is acknowledge it at least. I don't think you should hear something and you be like, oh, you know, because I
Yeah.
feel like I used to do that a lot of just being like, oh, that ain't really something I want to hear right now, or I feel like how I want to go about it is a little bit better,
No, it don't.
so I'm gonna just do it like this anyway, and we'll come back to that later, type of thing. I don't know. I feel like initially, just in a nutshell of just acknowledging that small voice in your head, that that Holy Spirit guiding you. I feel like if you acknowledge it instead of just being like, "Oh, I'll deal with that," I'm gonna do what I want to do right now and just go back to that later. I feel like acknowledging it at least is the biggest part when you are being
Yeah.
led by the Holy Spirit. Because I feel like a lot of the times, like I said, I heard it. I was like, God might
Yeah.
not like this. Even when going to Daddy to ask him about his opinion, I still did it. So it's like, girl, look, what was the point? I don't I don't know.
Well, I think the main thing that I like about what you're saying right now, or maybe it's resonating with me, is because sometimes I feel like I can I'm not impulsive necessarily because I am a big time overthinker. Like sometimes my Brie is like, you ain't got to do all that, and I'd be like, yes, I do,
Right.
because I'm thinking 10 steps ahead, which means I'm putting 20 things on my plate today that this stuff don't even occur until February. But I'm like, I got to be on top of it, So,
Right.
but I think the biggest thing that I'm getting from what you were just saying is that sometimes decisions don't have to be made immediately. You can sit on them. You can continue to pray on them, and I think that's what we don't do enough. Is that because you kind of feel like when something presents itself, or if you're longing for something, that the moment something gives you, bless you, the
Thank you.
moment you feel like, okay, this is the moment, then you immediately move forward. But sometimes it's okay that even if you feel like what you asked for is coming, that you can still pray on it. You can still say
Right.
like, I need time. You don't have to be like, yeah, let me hop on the first thing that presented that seems good to me, or I've been feeling
That's
like
it.
this void in my life. Let me, take hold to what's already in front of me. Take your time. I don't
Right.
do that enough. I've never been like extremely, like some things I just know. Don't ask me. I'm not going. You can cancel plans,
Right.
baby. I'm still in my pajamas. What?
Right.
Was never going. Don't phase me at all. But I do feel like when there's something that I want and I want it right then and there. But I know Brie and I also had like goals we set to say, hey, we're gonna pay this off. We're gonna get this done for the baby, and it'd be like, but I could do that. I could do that right now. Then I could
Mm-hmm.
just put that on the payment plan. Can go do this. And it's
Exactly.
just like you're just putting yourself in a much larger bind of things to worry about when you can just chill out. And I
And I
just
think
use
that's
that as an example because it doesn't always have to be relationship based. Like pray on the things
that's
and let him answer.
but I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of us miss is wanting that instant gratification of being like, I could just do this how I want to do it right now. Like I said, I'll figure that out, whatever that voice was talking about later. But then again, that goes back to if you know better, you do better. Because why would you just ignore something that's trying to, the Holy Spirit, I mean, unless it's just yourself telling you to do something. Okay, I feel like you got to know the difference. But I feel like if you know it's something that's trying to guide you in the right direction, and you're just saying, "Oh, it's going against what I want to do right now, and I want to do what I want to do." Granted, like I say, ain't nothing new under the sun. God knew you was probably going to do what you wanted to do anyway, so He's already fixing the thing that you finna break. He's already got a plan to fix it. Lucky us, right? But why
Yeah.
not just try to get it right the first time when we know what we're doing is wrong? Why do you have to go through the wrong part to get to the good part? It's That's what I'm saying. And even if you are like doing something good, and you know, like as I kept saying, I didn't want to make it seem like it's just well bad, but I do feel
Yeah.
like good things come from good things. So don't expect when you're out here doing something wrong to be like, but why did it have to go like that? Well, because that's what you did. What did you
Yeah.
expect to happen? That's like turning the oven on and going to touch it and be like, well, why would it burn me? Well, stink butt is hot.
That's what
You're
it
not
do.
exempt. You're right. You are not indestructible. It's going to hurt
That
you. So I feel like you have to just truly understand like that voice in your head is something that you should try to listen to a little bit more often. And even if it's something simple like um I don't feel like all of us need, I mean, let me choose my words wisely because I was going to say something real crazy. I don't
Uh-oh.
think that the Holy Spirit has to tell you every single time with something wrong. I feel like because God dwells within us. We, like Brittany said, we have free will. We know right from wrong. You're not dumb. Okay? Choose wisely. Even if you don't hear the little voice and your discernment isn't there to understand that that's what that is, choose wisely. Okay? If you already
But
knew
hold
it
on.
didn't work, what?
Hold on. That goes to seeking knowledge though. Because sometimes I fall into that trap too. Our mama talked to us about everything. Under the sun, the moon, the
Yeah.
stars, the galaxy, the Milky Way. Whatever we call in
Mhm.
Pluto now. She done talked about. So
For
I
real.
used to always feel like because I knew certain things, I'm like, well, you gotta know if I know. Like how
Mm.
we're all going to the same school. We playing the same sports. Our parents around the same age. Like clearly you're aware. And I think sometimes people get so caught up in the fact that yeah, we may know, but then you're not wise enough to know what to do with the rest of that. So sometimes it's not enough to just be like, yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, X, Y, and Z. Because then you just start making decisions based on what you think versus what God
Right.
has told you to do. So I think that comes into the play of being patient and slowing yourself down because people can say things all the time. Me and my sister, we have conversations, and I still haven't done this, and this is probably 2 seasons ago. But I haven't bought the product and knowing that I haven't studied it yet because I had bought the honey pot. And you were telling me based on the fact that the back of it said something about the ancestors. And I
Mhm.
said, well, I don't know anything about that. I need to read up on it and then I'll make a decision of what if I'm going to choose to use this product again or not, right?
Right.
Since I haven't done my due diligence, I haven't necessarily used I did finish the bottle that I had, but I
Right.
haven't rebought the product
Mhm.
because she mentioned it. So I think sometimes and it's my sister, and I don't think she gonna leave me. I mean, the honey pot ain't did nothing wrong to my girl. Okay, she
Right.
happy, but to me, it's like sometimes we take so much information from somewhere else and you feel like you can credit that person for what it is that they're saying that you then never turn around. Even preachers, oh, the preacher said, well, he's a human
Right.
with flesh. Nothing
Um,
about him made him holier than you, and you got the same Bible he reading from, whether it's new uh
King
King James
James.
Version, or they say the same thing.
Yeah.
Read for yourself to know how to move forward. You can't take everything and just say, "Yep, that's Holy Grail." But I will say this: when I'm thinking about fitness, if I do a squat one way, homegirl did the squat the same way, the other girl did the squat the same way, and nobody got injured, maybe we own to something.
Mhm.
Maybe you onto something, but then you also can read that that's how you properly do a squat, right? You go and look it up.
Right.
I feel
Some
like if you really
people,
want to know, read for yourself.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. I don't really have a rebuttal to that. Yay.
But I think we've gotten better at it. I think we've gotten better at it, and I think what you were saying, like surround yourself with people. Not saying I want to be like my sister, but I do feel like she has a better grasp on the Bible than I do. But I also feel like I'm a slow learner, y'all. I know I come on here and y'all be thinking that girl is a little genius, because sometimes I am.
who said that. And I was like,
Listen, I heard the people that's not making writing nothing in them comments. I heard you.
okay, Shade.
Right, just a little bit. Sorry. I'm an overthinker. So if I read one thing, I have to read something else. If I do this, then I gotta do that, and then the puzzle pieces work. So I was the student in class when they say, "Well, what part of the equation you didn't get?" I'm not too shy to say you need to go all the way back to the beginning. Don't go in the middle because that didn't make sense. How you get a 2 with a C with the exponent? I don't know what's happening. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I have to put all the pieces together, and the pieces have to make sense for me to say, okay, we're on to something here. But I think with this whole topic of knowing better and doing better, the biggest thing is you need to slow down. Be obedient to the voices coming inside of your head, and don't be so quick with your tongue. 'Cause honey, I be slicing and dicing these people in these
It's one thing at a time.
and I've had to learn to shut up, because even if it is my opinion, it doesn't make my opinion right.
Exactly. And I feel like we keep saying that if you know better, you do better. Listen to the voice. But even in the instances when you really just don't know, like Brittany's saying, take that time to just say, hey, okay, before I ruin everything, hold up. Because you don't have the answers to everything. And even if that voice is speaking to you, if you're just not there and you don't even know how to navigate the situation at all, I feel like it's almost nothing that anybody can say to be like, you shouldn't do that. Like you really don't know, and you're literally trying to navigate it for yourself. Because even like Brittany said, just because she said it and that's the way that it works out for her, don't mean that's what I have to do. And your situation could be a little different. So just having that wisdom and knowledge and being like, or that patience really is what I'm saying. It's just being like, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. And before I do the wrong thing, let me sit down and breathe and
that part.
Because it can get overwhelming sometimes. I feel like for me personally, I feel like I've always tried to find, like, I want to know how to do everything, and I hate not knowing how to do something. So it's like, oh, well, you know better, you do better. But sometimes I just don't know. And it's okay to not know. But it's not okay to just be out here crashing out. And then whenever you decided, oh, you wanted to do it however you wanted to do it, and then it worked, and then you literally reap the benefits of your horrible actions, and now you're madder and your situation gets worse and worse and worse. It's just like, at what point are you going to sit back and say, whatever I'm doing is not working? What can I do to change the trajectory of this situation? Because it starts with you. Okay.
Oh, and please do not blame other people.
Oh, please don't.
Oh my!
Like Corey said, accountability
is everything. And then even when you start to make changes in your life, you have to pause long enough to say, "I have decided to make the change." That doesn't, just because you made the decision to change does not mean that everybody else is gonna be like, "Oh, let's change."
We're changing.
Because, honey, I have forgiven you, but I still have to be mindful of what it is that I'm going to do or not do for you based on how things went then. You have to take care of yourself. Do what you need to do for you. Then maybe we can see what's going on. But if you have like she said, if the oven has continuously burned you, there is no point. I don't care if I go to Africa, Brazil, New Zealand. If they say that's an oven, baby, the oven in America hurt. I'm not going to. This is a totally different oven.
I don't even know how the oven work. I don't want to mess with that oven.
No, you cannot do that. So I feel like sometimes you have to, again, like she just said, accountability. You have to know when stuff is literally your fault. It ain't God's fault. It ain't your mama's fault. It ain't nobody else's fault but yours. Period. And that we not talking about if you got some real life trauma, because we do understand that sometimes it do be somebody else's fault for why you respond to things the way that you do. But I think even for me, not saying I grew up with a lot of childhood traumas or anything like that, but I've seen people in our family handle things the wrong way. And I see how when those certain things happen, that become a trigger. So when I started to do it as an adult, I had to figure out, well, why is it that what you're doing triggers me? It ain't got nothing to do with you at this point. I have to determine why is it that when you do that or when you say what you say, I'm immediately triggered by what it is that you're doing, and this is my response to you. Again, that's looking inward and not looking for that person to change or looking for that person to give me something or expecting more. I'm expecting more from myself, which I have to look inward for that, read my Bible, and move forward. Because if not, again, it doesn't matter where you go. When people do something, you're responsible for how you respond. People get on my nerves all the time in America. I only know people in America.
Outside of America.
Right? I don't really know nobody else who don't live in America. So, but based on the stuff you see on the news, you literally could be continuously triggered by a lot of things. I mean, I appreciate my dad for not letting us watch Roots as kids. Like when I say the man did not let us, you would have thought they was in there doing sexual activities. But when I even watched it as an adult, I was upset.
Right.
And I understood his point of view. You know, you want me to go to school and still like everybody. I would have watched that and been like, Chloe, you're done. Because I seen your people and they weren't being nice to mine.
Right.
And so everything is in its due time. But I just feel like you have to slow down and you have to realize what is it that's going on with me for me to respond and continuously do the same things over and over again. Because it's not that something is constantly being presented to you. These are things that's going to continuously happen. If nothing new is under the sun, that situation is never going away. It's going to be somewhere in the world, you know? So taking the time to say, well, when it does present itself, I'm going to respond differently, I think can give you a different outlook on how you handle things or what decisions you decide to say yes and no to as you know, grow through life.
Yeah, y'all.
My 2 cents.
Do better. Moral of the story. Moral of the story. Do better. Huh? What'd you say?
I say the best episodes go by fast. I feel like the time just be like flying.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I had to go to my notes to make sure we ain't miss nothing. But that was a good one. And I feel like I feel like something I guess I could be done with is just like feeling like I said, I feel like I always have to have the answers to things, but also understanding that when I don't have the answers to things, like I like the advice that Brittany gave is just slow down. You don't have to make a decision right now. And even if it is something that you need an immediate yes or no to, take it to God. You don't have to make those decisions by yourself, you know? And I feel like that was my problem back then. I feel like I need an answer and this is the best I got right now. So we just gonna roll with it. Found myself back in the situation over and over. And like Brittany said, the devil just gonna keep. I was literally going through the same cycle over and over and over until I realized, like at some point, it had to be like destiny. Be for real. That ain't working. Do you know better yet? So we can do better. Can we get to the do better part? So child, I'm just trying to do my best. Do better.
Don't we all
that's what
know?
I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think mine's just along the same lines as yours, but I feel like mine is continuing to pray until I get an answer. Sometimes we want that instant gratification that sometimes I'm like, well, I already prayed once. He must got somebody else on the other line, and this decision got to be made today.
You got to wait.
So then you start making decisions on your own, but then as soon as those things don't work out in your favor, it's his fault. But you didn't wait. If you waited, you probably would have got
an answer you.
Right. Totally different result. So I think my biggest thing will be to always go to him with everything in prayer. If God can literally fix everything, I mean everything, then I should be able to take what I would find as small or large to him and be able to, you know, get those answers to know how to best move forward. If I'm allowing him to lead me in this life. If not, then I'm going to stand on my own understanding, not his, And that means I'm going to have my free will and I'm going to make my own decisions. And honey, that's why you fit to walk through this party seat and then he just going to flood you.
Don't do that.
It got dark, sorry, but that's what I thought about. And I tried to stop cussing. I did not. It was partial, not full. I'm doing better.
Bless her heart.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. I think that was a really good episode. I think that was a good episode.
It was. I mean, all the episodes are great.
But I feel like it flowed and we got to the point. You know, we stayed on topic.
Yeah.
So yes, I like that one. And if y'all have some tips and tricks or whatever it is that helps you do better once you knew better,
yeah,
help us all. We all need help. We all can't do this thing by ourselves. That's also another topic, so stay tuned. I got topics, y'all. I've been adding to the thing. Okay, but yeah, and let us know what else y'all want us. Let us know what else y'all want us to talk about. Please comment. It's almost 100 of y'all. Somebody besides Bria. Hey, Bria, that's my girl. She be commenting. Hey, Bria, girl. But yeah, it's almost 100 of y'all. I need y'all to comment. Okay, love y'all. Thanks. We gonna see y'all at the same time next week. Peace. Bros. And the thing is, y'all, I'm over here in real life yapping and Brittany is frozen. That's what I'm saying. This little setup we got going on, I'm just waiting on her to unfreeze. Because what if she over there talking? I don't know. We just gonna wait. Now I gotta edit this out. Brittany. That ain't nothing but the